Today, we're bringing you to the story of a young man who never made it to class, but not because he skipped school or broke a rule or hurt anyone. His name is John Hagins, and in 2021, this 19-year-old was arrested outside of a Florida apartment complex. This is a story of an incident of panic, assumption, and prosecution before proof. A story where the system seemed to decide guilt before facts were tested. This is the story of my friend John. It was a morning like any other. John Hagins, a flight student at the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, who loved photography. He loved going to airports to take pictures of planes. He left his Daytona Beach apartment with his school bag, but he never made it to campus. The police were waiting, acting on messages taken out of context. John was arrested before he could even explain. He was detained at the Daytona Beach police station and then swiftly booked into the Volusia County Jail on 3 felonies: terrorism, written threats, and attempted first-degree murder. No violence had taken place, nobody had been hurt, but the headlines wrote a different story. What Trump called fake news. At first, in his court appearance, he appeared before Circuit Judge Dennis Craig and was denied bond, being ordered to remain in custody to await trial. The prosecution, led by Assistant State Attorney Mark Interlicio, vowed to prosecute this case aggressively. John's family acted quickly. They hired a private defense attorney, Mark O'Mara, a nationally known lawyer who entered not guilty pleas on John's behalf just days later, submitted them to the court. Still, John remained behind bars waiting for a while. Nobody really knew why this case kept getting delayed and it was taking so long to resolve. Eventually, a plea deal was reached. John pleaded no contest, a legal move not to admit guilt but accept sentencing without risking trial. This meant John would not carry a criminal conviction in the eyes of the law. His record technically would remain clear. It was not justice, it was survival. And now the Volusia County Sheriff's Office is refusing to release his interrogation. They have access to it as they've worked in this case with the Daytona Beach Police Department. And news reports claim that John confessed to plotting down a Columbine-type shooting and that guns were found inside the apartment where he was staying at. Evidence presented was a Snapchat post capturing the firearms, but this was only a picture. And though American citizens have a right to guns, what a violation of the Second Amendment. There is no clear proof that John Hagins was plotting out a mass shooting at the school. Some news reporters even lied for attention and claimed that John wrote a message saying that he had completed his back-to-school shopping. They were referring to the guns. This was after Thanksgiving break had ended and all the kids were getting to class. In February 2025, Judge Leah Case handed down the sentence: 8 years in state prison, followed by an afterward 7 years of probation. No evidence of violent act, no trial by jury, just a young man who stopped before he ever arrived and punished away. John is now scheduled for release in 2029. We met online on a website where inmates can chat with the public. He says that he did not expect to have a total stranger reach out to him and he appreciates me reaching out. We became good friends and we even spoke on the phone. He told me all about Florida. In the south, beaches. In the middle, residential areas with some tourist attractions. And in the north, places with lots of nature to hike. I really, at this point, can't wait to move to Florida, and I do not want to regret it. At least I know somebody there. I wrote a letter to the court in support of him, asking for leniency on him. One very hard thing that he went through was losing his grandfather while he was locked up. He mentioned something that I found pretty funny. I don't remember eating anything in my high school that sucked, but the food here in jail certainly does. After sentencing, John was taken to the inmate reception center in Orlando. From there, he was moved to a long-term correctional facility, the state prison in Century, Florida, where he is currently doing his time. He still dreams of returning to aviation, of completing his education, of being heard. Was justice served? But here's what we know. A student was arrested before class, charged with crimes that never came to pass, stripped of freedom, denied bond, and to avoid greater risk of being wrongfully convicted at trial, he gave up the fight. This is the story of John Hagins, and we won't let it be forgotten. Without clear evidence, he was locked up. This has been Strawberry Ink. If you or someone you love has been failed by the justice system, our inbox is always open. Reach out at strawberryink6@gmail.com. It's our email. Until next time, stay alert and stay critical. Have a good rest of your day. And free John Hagins.